Christmas Eve. I'd left the kitchen window cracked just an inch. And Chloe sneezed. That was all it took. Dad hauled me to the back door by the scruff of my coat and kicked me out into the dark. Snow howling around my ankles. Go get firewood. And don't come back till the basket's full. Behind me, through the frosted glass. I could hear them laughing. Chloe was tearing open her Christmas presents, crinkling paper and squealing. Grandma was passing out hot cocoa with extra marshmallows. Just how Chloe liked it. I didn't cry. I slung the wicker basket over my shoulder, pulled my thin hood up tighter, and turned toward the woods. I knew the path by heart, even in the dark, even with snow halfway up my boots. I never found the firewood, but I found a man. His leg was wedged between two boulders, jeans torn through, blood dark and sticky against the snow. He lifted his head when he heard me step on a branch, voice rough and raw from the cold. Hey, kid, you get me out of here. I'll give you anything you want. Name your price. I stared at him for a long second, snow sticking to my eyelashes. Then I said, quiet but sure. Really? Then I want you to be my dad. He blinked. Then his eyes rolled back, and he passed out cold. I thought about leaving him there. I thought about how much trouble I'd be in if I came home without wood, with a stranger instead. But I'd asked for a dad, and I wasn't the kind of kid who gave up easy. It took forever. I pulled and pushed, got his arm over my shoulder, dragged him through the snow step by step. My legs burned, my lungs ached, and by the time we got to the back porch, my hands were numb clear to the wrists. I raised my hand to knock, but the door flew open before I could. Dad's palm connected with my cheek so hard I saw stars. Where the hell's the firewood? Chloe's freezing waiting for her bath. And what's this garbage you dragged home? I stumbled back, holding my face. I found him in the woods. He's hurt. Quit your yapping and get in the kitchen to stoke the fire. No, Mom snapped. Her mouth twisted like she'd smelled something rotten. She didn't even glance at the man on the porch. Chloe came bounding out then, her fuzzy pink slippers slapping the porch floor. Her eyes locked on the man's wrist, and she gasped. Ooh, that bracelet's so pretty. Mom, Dad, I want it. Chloe always got what she wanted. Always. Mom leaned down right away, fumbling with the clasp. Ugh, it's stuck. Earl, help me with this. Dad grunted. Nah, just drag him inside. He'll wake up sooner or later. We saved his life. Least he can do is give Chloe a present. Fair's fair. Yay! We're heroes. Chloe cheered, bouncing on her toes. Sis, you can feed all the leftover ham to Duke. Okay. I saved him extra bones for Christmas. She was already wrapping a paper towel around the man's cut like it was a game, all proud of herself. Then she paused, tilting her head. Oh, wait. You haven't had dinner yet, have you? But I promise, Duke. She stuck her lip out, eyes getting all watery like she was about to cry. She don't need to eat. Grandma yelled from the doorway, wiping her hands on her apron. Can't even bring back a lousy basket of wood. Useless thing. Standin' there mopin' and ruinin' Christmas. That's when the man stirred. He blinked awake, gaze sweeping the room slow. Chloe leaned in right away, preening. I saved you, she said, holding out her wrist. You can give me that bracelet now. As a thank you. His eyes flicked past her, past Mom and Dad and Grandma. They landed on me for half a second, then drifted away like I was just part of the wall. He unclasped the bracelet, somehow he'd gotten it free, after all, and slipped it onto Chloe's wrist. Name's Asher. Asher Voss. I was hiking with a friend. Took a fall. Thank you for taking me in. I stared at him. My dad. The dad I'd picked out. He didn't remember me at all. I squeezed my hands into fists at my sides, then let go. Same as always. Everyone loved Chloe Bright. Bubbly. Pretty Chloe. With her pink bows and her shiny shoes. Nobody looked twice at me. Quiet. Scrawny. Too much work. I shouldn't have been surprised. Chloe got bored of her new toy pretty quick and ran outside to play with Duke in the snow. Dad finally turned to Asher, scowling. All right, mister. You call your friend to come get you. Yeah, we don't need strangers hanging around on Christmas. Asher's jaw tightened. My phone's dead. I can't reach him. He looked like he hated having to ask. Mom and Dad exchanged a look. Fine, but you're gonna pay us. For the room and board. And for saving your life. Fair enough. Grandma huffed, throwing a dish towel at my face. Quick gawkin and go wash the dishes. You little freeloader. And make sure he don't cause no trouble. You're responsible for him. The towel smelled like old grease and cigarette smoke. I took it and went to work. Later, when everyone else was in bed, I snuck a bowl of cold oatmeal from the pantry and brought it out to the living room. Here, I mumbled, setting it down on the floor by his feet. Eat it before they see. You'll freeze out here if you pass out again. He stared at the lumpy oatmeal like it was something he'd never seen before. Like it offended him. But he picked it up anyway. I led him out back to the woodshed after that. The air smelled like sawdust and pine. Here, you can sleep on my bed. He stared at the rickety metal cot in the corner, stacked with thin, scratchy blankets. This is your bed? Uh-huh. I climbed up first, tucking old newspaper into the cracks around the window to block the wind. Then I spread a couple layers of cardboard on the dirt floor, laid down my ratty old comforter, and curled up on top. You're sleeping on the floor? He sounded shocked, like he couldn't believe it. That's your sister in there? The one with the bracelet? Are you even related to those people? The lantern cast dim, wobbly shadows over the walls. I didn't answer. I just pulled the blanket up tighter around my chin. Asher sighed, rubbing his temple. He looked at the cot like it was gonna bite him. But he laid down anyway. You better stay in here. I told him. Quiet. If you make Chloe mad, they'll throw you out in the snow. For real. I curled up smaller, trying to trap the heat against my body. I'd saved him hoping for a dad who'd love me, but he didn't even remember my face. Stupid. Stupid to hope. Maybe next time, I'd find a mom instead. I closed my eyes and drifted off. I woke up at 5 a.m. Same as always. You're up early. Asher's voice was rough. He had dark circles under his eyes. Looked like he hadn't slept a wink all night. Got chores, I said, folding up my blanket. Gotta chop wood, shovel the walk, feed Duke, make breakfast before everyone wakes up. I'll save you a bowl. Okay. I paused. You didn't sleep at all? He huffed a laugh. But it didn't sound happy. You try sleeping in a freezer and see how you do. I'm used to it. I picked up the extra blanket off the floor and tossed it onto his cot. If you're cold, use this. I'll come get you when breakfast's ready. I didn't wait for him to answer. I grabbed my coat and the basket and headed back out to the woods. I needed more wood. If I didn't bring enough, Grandma would hit me with the switch again. The snow was deeper this morning. My flashlight beam cut through the dark, bouncing off the tree trunks. I saw the shadow first, behind a big oak. I didn't jump. I just doused the light, quiet as a mouse. Back here, you saw all kinds of things, foxes, deer, sometimes wild hogs. I knew better than to draw attention. I turned to sneak away. Hello? Is someone there? Please don't leave me out here to freeze. It was a woman's voice. Soft, but shaky. My heart skipped a beat. Was this it? Was the universe sending me a mom? I clicked the flashlight back on. She was leaning against the tree, curly hair dusted with snow, cheeks pink from the cold. She blinked at the light. Whoa, a kid? Am I hallucinating from hypothermia? No, I said. You want to come home with me? She stared at me for a second, then nodded so fast her hair bounced. Yes. God. Yes. Thank you. Her name was Sarah. She told me on the walk back. She'd been snowshoeing with friends, gotten lost. Her car stuck in a drift. She'd been wandering for hours. We stopped at the edge of the yard. I can let you stay, I said, staring at my boots. But you have to be my mom. And take me with you when you leave. Sarah went still. She looked at my threadbare coat, at the basket heavy with wood on my arm. Her face got all soft and sad. Honey, do you live here alone? She glanced at the pickup truck in the driveway, and her eyebrows went up. I felt my throat get tight. No. My mom and dad are there. And grandma. And my sister. Sarah sighed. Sweetie, you already have a mom. I can't just be your mom. That wouldn't be right. She'd be heartbroken. I squeezed my hands tight. It was stupid to hope. Stupid. Stupid. Fine. I mumbled. Just come on. Be quiet. If they find you, they'll throw you out. Come on. I snuck her around the back to the woodshed. I pushed the door open. Asher looked up and froze. Sarah rolled her eyes. Asher's mouth twitched. Well, this is awkward. They knew each other. I didn't have time to ask questions. I stacked the wood by the wall. Fast. I gotta go make breakfast. I whispered. Don't make a sound. Okay. I slipped into the kitchen. But I wasn't fast enough. Grandma was standing by the stove. Scowling. Making all that racket first thing in the morning? Chloe's still sleeping. You little brat. You jealous she gets nice things. So you gotta wake her up on purpose. Her voice was low and mean. Sharp as a knife. She saw I hadn't finished breakfast yet. And she lunged. Fisting a hand in my hair. Lazy little thing. What time did you even get up? Huh? I bit my lip so I wouldn't cry. I'm sorry. Grandma. I'm sorry. I'll hurry. She stood over me the whole time I cooked. I didn't dare put much in the bowls I snuck out to the woodshed. Not even enough for 2 people. Even so, I got backhanded across the face when I turned around. Greedy little thief. Eaten our food behind our backs. Get out of my sight. Go back to the shed. Don't let Chloe see you. I kept my head down and ran. I didn't want her to hit me again. Sarah stood up the second I walked in. Her eyes went wide when she saw the red mark on my cheek. Did they hit you? Asher didn't say anything, but his jaw was tight. His eyes were dark. I ignored them. I dragged a little stool over and set the 2 bowls of oatmeal down. Breakfast. Split it. I gotta go work. Sarah grabbed my wrist before I could turn away. What about you? You're not eating. I already ate. My stomach chose that exact second to growl. Loud enough for everyone to hear. She didn't eat last night. Either. Asher's voice was quiet, but heavy. Are they abusing you? Sarah asked, her voice sharp with anger. Before I could answer, Grandma screamed from the yard. Lila Mae, get your butt out here right now. I flinched. Eat all of it. I whispered, yanking my hand free. If you waste it, they'll yell at me again. I ran out. Grandma had 2 chickens by their feet. Feathers fluffed. Normally, she counted every single egg. Hid 'em so I couldn't steal one. But Chloe was here, so she was all smiles. Gotta feed my baby girl, right? Chicken soup for the soul. 1 for dinner tonight. 1 for y'all to take back to the city. She beamed at Mom and Dad like she was the sweetest grandma alive. Like I wasn't standing right there. Like I wasn't a kid. 2. Here. You kill M. She shoved a butcher knife into my hand. The cold metal made me jump. Standin' there starin'? Move. Lazy thing. She kicked me in the back. I stumbled forward. The blade slipped. It sliced across my palm, then cut right through the chicken's neck. Blood sprayed everywhere. All over my face. My hands. My coat. My hand burned. Blood ran down my wrist. Grandma shrieked. Ugh. You useless little mess. Get out of here. Go on. No lunch for you today. You hear me? You're lucky I don't beat you within an inch of your life. I stumbled back to the woodshed, shaking all over. My whole body felt like ice. Sarah had been watching through the crack in the door. She rushed over the second I stepped inside, grabbing my hand. She froze when she saw my arm. I was so skinny you could see every bone. My hands were rough, covered in calluses and cracked, oozing chilblains from the cold. Through the wall, we could hear Chloe laughing. Ooh, the snow's so pretty. Let's go take pictures. Okay, baby, but bundle up tight. Don't you catch a cold. What about Lila? She knows the woods. Let her come with us. Why would we bring her? She's no fun. Just mopes around the whole time. Sarah's face went cold. Those are your real parents? I think so. I mumbled. I turned to go back outside. I had chores to do. I snuck them some bread and apples later, when no one was looking. That night, Sarah refused to sleep on the cot with Asher. She laid down on the cardboard floor right next to me. She felt my forehead and sucked in a breath. "You're burning up." She took off her puffer jacket and wrapped it around me, tucking me in tight. I smelled vanilla and jasmine and warm. Soft things. Things I'd never smelled before. My throat got tight. Tears spilled over before I could stop them. I wanted to say Mom. I bit my tongue so hard it hurt. I was warm. For the first time I could remember. Even with the fever. My chest felt light. I woke up late. Way late. I heard Grandma yelling outside. And I jolted up. Panicking. No. I overslept. I'm sorry, Sarah and Asher both reached for me. But I was already running. I burst out the door. And tripped right at Grandma's feet. "You little slut. Sleepin' in now? You think you're too good to do your chores? You been in there kissin' up to those strangers. Huh? Wastin' our food on 'em." She laughed. Mean and sharp. She grabbed me by the hair and dragged me across the frozen ground. Then she picked up a snow shovel and brought it down hard on my back. I curled up, gasping. I couldn't breathe. "Grandma, I'm bored," Chloe whined, like she didn't even see me getting hit. Then she perked up, pointing at me. "Hey, let's build a snowman. Lila can be the snowman." She scooped up a big handful of snow and smashed it right in my face. "Mom, Dad, come on. Play with me." Mom and Dad walked over. They didn't even glance at me, gasping on the ground. Dad just pulled Chloe's gloves up tighter. "Careful, baby. Don't get your hands cold." Chloe giggled, shoveling more snow onto my legs, my stomach, my chest. It seeped through my clothes, ice cold against my skin. I shook so hard my teeth chattered. "Quit being a baby," Dad said, annoyed. "It's just snow. Play along with your sister." That's when the voice cut through the noise. "If you don't want this kid, I'll take her." Sarah was standing there, cheeks flushed with cold and fury. Asher was right behind her, leaning on a piece of firewood like a crutch, his legs still bad. "Name your price." I wiped snow out of my eyes. Sarah stepped right in front of me, like a shield. "Is this kid even yours?" "She's what, 10 years old? And you treat her like this?" Her voice was shaking. She was so mad. Dad frowned. "Who the hell are you? How'd you get on my property? And this is family business. How we raise our kid ain't none of your concern. Family business, my ass." Sarah snapped. "This is child abuse. Now you listen here. Missy," Grandma spat, hefting the shovel. "This is trespassing. I got every right to throw you out in the woods. And you," she kicked me in the stomach. "Hard. You little tramp. Inviting strangers into my house. You think you're clever." I whimpered, curling up tighter. "Stop it." Sarah lunged forward, but Asher grabbed her arm. He looked at Dad, voice cold and steady. "My apologies. My friend and I got stranded in the storm. We won't impose much longer. We'll compensate you for your trouble." "Of course." He pulled a watch off his wrist and tossed it to Dad. Dad caught it. Him and Mom exchanged a look. I saw their eyes go wide. They knew what it was, knew how much it was worth. Grandma didn't care about watches. She grabbed me by the arm and slapped me so hard my ears rang. I knew there was a thief in the house, suckin' up to rich folks. "Huh? Think you're gonna escape? Think you're better than us?" She squeezed my cheek so hard it hurt. "Why don't you ever do nice things for your sister? All you do is laze around and cause trouble." Sarah shoved Grandma away from me. Hard. "This is abuse. She's supposed to be in school. Does she even go to school?" She glanced at Chloe, standing there all warm and pink in her fancy coat. Chloe was younger than me, but taller, healthier. She went to some fancy private school in the city. I'd never seen the inside of a classroom. "You only care about the little one? The oldest doesn't matter," Sarah said, sharp as a knife. Mom and Dad looked guilty for half a second. Then they got defensive. "She's our kid. We can raise her however we want. You got no right to be here." Grandma dragged me toward the house, pulling my hair so hard I cried out, "Y'all better mind your own business before you get hurt." I was terrified. I knew what was waiting for me inside. Worse than the shovel. Worse than the switch. I wanted to scream. But I looked at Sarah, at how mad she was. And I bit my tongue. Don't fight for me. They'll hurt you too. They'll leave you out in the woods. Asher must have known it too. He held Sarah back, his face like stone. Let's go, he said. Quiet. Dad looked pleased, like he'd won. There. That's polite. Stay out of our way. And we'll all get along just fine. Sarah's fists were clenched so tight her knuckles were white. I got it bad. That afternoon, Grandma made me take my shirt off. She beat my back with a switch, over and over, till the old scars split open and new ones bled. I screamed. I couldn't help it. Quit your crying, Dot, she sneered. You think those strangers are gonna save you? Think again. You're ours. You'll always be ours. When she was done, she dragged me back to the woodshed and threw me inside. She smirked at Asher and Sarah, proud of herself. The door slammed shut. Sarah was on me in a second, helping me sit up. Her eyes were all wet. How could she do that to you? I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. I made it worse. I tried to shake my head, but the pain was too bad. Everything went dark around the edges. I passed out. When I woke up, I heard Sarah crying. Asher was on the cot, burning up. His leg was infected. I could tell. Red and swollen. Stupid idea. Sarah was muttering, pacing. This was your stupid plan. And now you're gonna die out here. Stupid. Stupid, where's the damn signal? I pushed myself up. My back screamed. I'll get medicine. No. Lila. No, Sarah grabbed my arm. You can't go back in there. She'll hurt you worse. I'm used to it. I said. I tried to smile. It hurt. They won't kill me. Probably. Everyone was asleep by then. I snuck through the house, quiet as a shadow, to Grandma's room. I rummaged in her dresser till I found the bottle of antibiotics and some pain pills. I made it back to the shed, breathless, sweat dripping down my face. Sarah held my hand, tight. We're gonna get you out of here. I promise you. We're gonna take you away, and you'll never have to see them again. I nodded. Then I passed out again. The next time I woke up, I was warm, really warm. I blinked. I was in the back seat of a car, wrapped in a soft, fuzzy blanket. My back didn't hurt as bad. Someone had cleaned and bandaged the cuts. Hey there, kiddo. The man in the front seat smiled at me in the rearview mirror. Name's Carter. I'm Mr. Voss's driver. We've been looking for him and Ms. Lane for days. Finally tracked M down this morning. My heart jumped. Are they inside? Talking about me? Sure are. Come on. I'll help you in. He helped me out of the car. I walked slow, my back still stiff. I could hear Mom talking as soon as I got to the door. Look, Lila's my own flesh and blood. Okay. She just lives with her grandma out here. We're busy with work in the city. We love her. You can't just take someone's kid. Dad laughed. Cold. You two think you can just walk in here and buy a kid? That's not how this works. You got no right. He looked at me, standing in the doorway. He smiled, like he knew I'd pick him, like I had no choice. Come on. Lila, tell these nice people you don't want to leave your family. Tell them you love us. I stared at him. I thought about all the nights I'd gone to bed hungry, all the times I'd been hit for no reason, all the times I'd called Mom and Dad on the phone, and they'd hung up as soon as they heard my voice. They didn't love me. They never had. They only cared about me now because there was money on the table. I took a deep breath. I don't want you. My voice was small, but steady. I looked him right in the eye. I'm gonna have new Mom and Dad. I don't want you anymore. Asher made a low, amused sound. He reached out and pulled me right behind him, safe between him and Sarah. That's when I saw it. The room was full of men in dark suits. Lawyers. Maybe. Bodyguards. Asher tapped his finger on the table, looking at Dad. Earl Hale. You work at that manufacturing plant out of Knoxville, right? Up for a promotion next quarter. He glanced at one of the men in suits. Voss Industries has a supply contract with that company, doesn't it? Wonder what your boss would say if he found out his star supervisor abuses his kid. Think that promotion's still on the table. Dad went pale. Voss? As in Voss Industries. He stared at Asher. At Sarah. Like he was finally seeing them. Like he finally understood how out of his depth he was. Or we can do this the hard way, Sarah said, smiling sweetly. My family's lawyers are top tier. A child abuse conviction? You'd both go to prison for years. And Chloe? She'd go into foster care. Is that what you want? Mom flinched. Asher slid a bank card across the table. $30,000. For all the trouble we've caused. Sign the papers. Terminate your parental rights. And we never have to see each other again. It wasn't much. Not to him. But I knew it was more than Dad made in a year. They didn't have a choice. They signed the papers. Hands shaking. They didn't even look at me. We got back in the car. Sarah pulled me into her lap, holding me tight. You're so skinny, she whispered, her voice wobbly. Oh, honey, it's gonna be okay now. Everything's gonna be okay. I rested my head on her shoulder. I could hear her heart beating. I watched out the window as the mountains got smaller and smaller behind us. I'd always thought those mountains were the whole world. Turns out, you drive past M in an hour. We pulled up to a house so big it looked like a castle. Stone walls. A huge driveway. Trees strung with Christmas lights. This was just one of Asher's houses. Carter told me. All right, I've got a gallery opening to get to, Sarah said, giving Asher a look. You better take good care of her while I'm gone. She knelt down in front of me, brushing hair off my face. Lila, you stay here with Asher for a few days. Okay, I'll be back before you know it. And then we'll figure everything out. I nodded. I didn't want her to go, but I was too shy to say so. She smiled at me, warm and bright. She looked exactly like the mom I'd always dreamed of. I tugged on her sleeve. Can I call you Mom? She froze. She glanced up at Asher, surprised. Then she looked back at me, at my face, probably all red and nervous. Her smile softened. Of course you can, baby. Mom, I whispered. She nodded. So I said it again, a little louder. Mom, I never used to say it. I mumbled, looking at my shoes. My old mom got mad when I called her that. She only liked Chloe calling her mom. Sarah's smile faded. She tilted my chin up so I'd look at her. I love hearing you call me that. Lila, all that bad stuff is over now. You've got a new mom now. Okay. I nodded. My eyes felt wet. After Sarah left, it was just me and Asher, staring at each other in the big fancy foyer. Go pick any bedroom you want, he said, gesturing up the grand staircase. Tell the housekeeper whatever you need. New clothes, books, toys, anything. Okay, I said, twisting my hands in my dress. I felt so small in this big house. He must have noticed. His voice got softer. Thank you, Lila, for saving me out there. I don't know what would have happened to me if you hadn't found me. I blinked up at him. That was the first time he'd really talked to me like I mattered. You don't have to thank me, I said. Quick. Thank you for getting me out of there. I hesitated. Then I said it. Quiet. Like I was scared he'd say no. Uncle Asher? Can I call you Dad too? He froze. I'm sorry, I said right away, backing up. I'm being greedy. I already have Mom. It's okay. You don't have to, he laughed. A real laugh. Not the mean kind. Sure you can, he said. And hey, next time Sarah's here, you can call us Mom and Dad right in front of her. See how she reacts. He coughed a little, and his ears turned pink. I was too happy to notice. I had a mom and a dad, both of them. That first night, I picked the bedroom right down the hall from Asher's. The housekeeper tucked me into a bed so soft it felt like sleeping on a cloud. She gave me a nightgown, soft and pink, with little stars on it. I stared at myself in the mirror. Clean face, brushed hair, soft clothes. It didn't feel real. It felt like a dream, better than any dream I'd ever had. I slept better that night than I ever had in my whole life. No worrying about oversleeping. No listening for Grandma's voice. Just quiet. And warm. And safe. The next few days, Asher stayed home to rest his leg. I followed him around, helping him, pushing his wheelchair, bringing him water, whatever he needed. Lila, you don't have to do all this, he said, laughing one afternoon. You're the kid. You're supposed to relax. I looked down at my hands. I want to help. I said, quiet. I don't want to be a burden. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, okay, but only for a little while. That night, I made dinner. I stood on a step stool by the stove, stirring the pan. The housekeeper kept hovering, all worried. She's just a child. Mr. Voss. I can do that. She shouldn't have to cook. Asher held up a hand to stop her. Let her, he said. Soft. Just this once. She's not going to be doing this forever. I carried the plates to the table, proud of myself. Asher took one bite, and his eyebrows went up. Wow, that's really good. I grinned, chest puffed out. I've been cooking since I was 3. Grandma taught me. I know lots of recipes. I didn't see the look on his face, the way his smile faded, like his heart hurt. A month later, Asher told me there was a big family dinner at his grandpa's house. He wanted me to come with him. I looked down at my dress new, soft, pretty, and my stomach dropped. Will there be lots of people there? Yep, he said. You'll meet my grandpa, my aunts and uncles, cousins, whole crew. I froze. I called him Dad when we were alone. Only when we were alone. It felt like stealing. Almost. Like if I said it too loud, it would break. I wasn't really his daughter. I wasn't really Sarah's daughter. I was just the kid they'd picked up. But I couldn't say no to him. The mansion was even bigger than Asher's house. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, so bright they made my eyes hurt. There were tables full of fancy little desserts and fruits I'd never seen before. Everyone was dressed so nice. Silk dresses, tailored suits. They all looked like they belonged in a movie. I sat on a couch in the corner, twisting my hands in my dress. I felt like a dirty little kid who'd snuck in. I heard the whispers. Asher Voss? He's never even dated anyone seriously. Where'd the kid come from? Must be a love child, right? Why else would he bring some random kid to the family dinner? Poor Mrs. Voss. She's been bugging him to get married for years. Bet the old man's gonna have a fit. The words got louder, meaner. I stood up. I walked right over to the group of men who'd been talking. I looked up at the one who'd said love child. Who told you that? I said, loud enough for everyone around to hear. Did Mr. Voss tell you I'm his secret kid? I was small. My voice was kid voice. But nobody laughed. The man cleared his throat. Awkward. Hey, kiddo. We were just joking around if you don't know the truth. You shouldn't say things about people. I said. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would jump out of my chest. But I stood up straight. The room went quiet. Then a deep, booming laugh echoed through the hall. Well, this one's got spine. Good for you. Asher, you picked a good one. I turned around. Asher was standing there, leaning on a cane. Next to him was an old man with white hair and a sharp smile. Lila, Asher said, smiling at me. Come say hi to your great-grandpa. Oh, that was Mr. Voss, the grandpa. I walked over. Even though my hands were sweaty, I smiled the best I could. Hello, great-grandpa. I'm Lila. Hello there, Lila. The old man smiled at me. Warm. Asher here ran up to me 10 minutes ago, all excited. Said he'd found himself a daughter out in the mountains. I thought he was crazy. But looking at you, I get it. He glanced at the men who'd been whispering. His smile went away, sharp as a knife. I didn't hear any of that nonsense. Did I? Grown men gossiping like old hens? A little girl's got better manners than the lot of you. Shameful. The men all mumbled apologies, hurrying to change the subject. They started complimenting me, saying how brave I was, how smart I looked. Asher looked at me. Proud. Everyone, he said, loud and clear. This is Lila Voss. She's my daughter. The adoption papers are being finalized as we speak. I stared up at him. My eyes got all wet. I was really his. I was really part of a family. I was still staring at him, all teary, when the front doors flew open. Asher Voss, you stole my kid. Sarah marched in, looking furious and beautiful. She glared at Asher, then grabbed my hand and pulled me behind her. Grandpa, she said, turning to the old man, all dramatic. This is my daughter. You can't let him claim her first. Great-grandpa laughed, teasing her. Oh? When do you have a daughter? Sarah? You're not even married. Asher's got the room. The time. Makes sense for him to raise her. Sarah glanced at Asher, who was standing there looking all innocent. Then she looked at me. She huffed. No way. I found her first. She already called me Mom. She called me Dad too, Asher said, smirking. Lila. Sarah knelt down in front of me. She was trying not to laugh. Okay, fine. You pick. Mom or Dad? She winked at me. Real obvious. I peeked over at Asher. He was trying to look casual, like he didn't care, but his eyes were glued to us. I put on my best innocent face. I want Mom. And I want Dad. Why can't Mom and Dad be together? Sarah froze. Asher coughed so hard he almost choked. Great-grandpa cackled, clapping his hands. Here. Smart kid. Got more sense than both of you put together. Grandpa, Sarah yelped, her face turning pink. She looked around at all the guests, watching and grinning. Ugh. Fine. Whatever. The adoption's not final yet. We'll see who wins. She tugged my hand. Come on. Lila, let's go get cake. Ignore the mean old man. I looked over my shoulder and waved at Asher, urging him to follow. I might have been a kid, but I wasn't stupid. I'd seen the way he looked at Sarah, like she was the only person in the room. I wanted both of them. I wanted a whole family. Sarah was still talking as we walked over to the dessert table, telling me all the reasons Asher would be a terrible dad. He's so boring. All he does is work. And he's so grumpy in the mornings. And when we were kids, he used to put bugs in my hair. You need a mom. Someone fun. She reached for a piece of cake. And then I heard it. The clink of glass. Wobbling. The whole champagne tower by the wall was tipping. Right toward us. I grabbed Sarah's arm. Tried to pull her out of the way. But it was too late. I squeezed my eyes shut, waiting for the crash. For the cut glass. It never came. Instead, I was wrapped up in something warm and strong. I opened my eyes. Asher was there. He'd thrown himself in front of us, his back to the falling tower. He held both of us tight against his chest. Are you okay? He said, voice tight with pain. Sarah stared up at him, wide-eyed. She touched his back, and her hand came away red with blood. Asher, you're hurt. He winced, but he smiled at her. A soft, shy smile I'd never seen before. Am I really that terrible? Then he said, quiet. If I'm gonna be a dad, would you teach me how to be a good one? I wiggled out of Sarah's arms. I ran to go get great-grandpa, to go get help. When I came back with everyone, Asher was sitting on the floor. Sarah was kneeling in front of him, crying a little, holding his hand. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but Asher looked over at me, and he winked. I smiled back. I'd gone out into the snow that night looking for firewood, and I'd come home with a mom, and a dad, and a whole family, all mine.